Welcome back to the channel, guys. Happy Sunday afternoon, everybody. I figured I would do this video in a different light setup. I did get another submission back Friday night, and I did open the box already, so this will be another unboxing, open box, I guess, more than a true first-time look and you know, unboxing without knowing the grade. So it's a 21 coin submission. Large cents, Jefferson Nickels, and some proof Franklin and Kennedy half dollars. Some of these were sent in for variety. Some of the nickels were sent in because of the beautiful toning, or a variety, or the possibility of full steps. Usually I'll only try to send the prettiest nickels in, or the nickels I feel have a really solid shot of 66 or finer. Not that I've ever gotten one any finer. 66 seems to be where I top out, and or full steps depending upon the value of that particular year and date. So what you're looking at here, I went through one of the rolls of 38s pennies, and these are all FS 501 or 502. So obviously in a future submission we may send some or all of these in. My hand is not super steady. If you look on the top left part of the S mint mark to the left, then if you match that up with the FS 502, you will see that the diagnostics line up pretty well. So let me see if I can get something to point that out. So the left, get a better focus. So the left side of the mint mark. And the important thing on this stuff is that they all have to look the same in terms of the diagnostic of the mint mark. You know, you can't say one is to the right, one is above, one's more to the left than the other, because they all came from the same die pair, or obverse die. Or repunch, you know. In other words, the location and the shape has to match. They're all from the same dies. So those three are what I believe to be the FS 502, and this one, a little bit different. It's more to the north. The original impression, more to the north. Here's a little bit of a better view. So we'll see if that ends up panning out or not. And then some of these, I'm not going to get the color as beautiful as it is in person, but it is really beautiful in hand. And 1949, very tough date for full steps. There aren't full steps, but the toning is what we're looking at. Zoom out a little bit to get a little better angle, a little better idea of what the color looks like on those. And then on these do not have the toning. These are both 51D, but if you look up to 51D, pretty hard to find them in full steps. Now this is not quite full steps because of the bag marks, so that one won't make it, but this one is close. But it's really hard to get the full steps designation. I did get it on a few of the ones that we're about to look at. That bag mark right above the C there probably will prevent it, but it is full other than those 1 or 2 very small bag marks. So with that, we will kick off this unboxing, if you will. Unboxing with an 1838 Coronet Head Lg Cent. Nice chocolate brown, as they say, deep brown. You're always going to get the full Liberty on these unless they're worn all the way down to the fair 2 or poor 1 level. Stars are flat. You get some hair detail, you get some beads in the hair. Pretty flat forehead hair. Ear detailed eye, all there. Some detail on the wreath. Full bold rims. Some carbon spots on the S&E and States and above 1 cent. It looked like a fine 12 or so when I sent it in. I was hoping for a fine 12 or 15, and fine 15 it was, so that I felt to be accurate. Nothing super valuable. $60, $70, $80 coin maybe. Something along those lines. And then we have another Coronet Head, 1837. And this one seems to be a little bit more worn. I think we could all see that. I don't have to highlight what I'm looking at. You can see it just as easily. Flatter face, flatter everything. I had this one as a VG. You know, I didn't know if it was an 8 or a 10, but I didn't think it was any better than that. But I don't send many of these in, so very little experience with Lg Cents. Couple different varieties, small and medium letters, plain chords and beaded chords. And the plain chords are referencing on the... All right, so as I was looking at, it's just so one away, you've got the hair up here. There'll be beaded chords or plain in terms of the design. So like, for instance, on the previous version, there's your beaded chords, but there is no option for plain. So prior to the 1838, 1837 was a transition year where some of them are with beads, some of them are plain, and they're almost equal a rarity, so it's just really just a matter of notating it. It's not so much that one is scarcer than the other. Anyways, fine 12, I really wasn't expecting to see it crack very good, but like I said, I don't send a lot of these in. So next up, we're going to stick with Lg Cents, but we're going to move from the Coronet Head to the Braided Hair variety. And we can see we have, speaking of hair, more detail in the hair. A little more detail all the way around, better denticle definition. See all the beads and the beaded hair on this one. Oops, sorry about that. Lots of detail. Nice color on this one. Don't see the carbon spots we saw on the other. I had this one pegged at a 25 or a 30 VF, but not quite. So I suppose that's fair enough, but it seemed to be maybe a 25 in my eye, but what's the difference? Only $5-10, I'm sure, and not a huge discrepancy by any stretch. We have another one 1 year later, 1848, looking pretty similar to the last one in terms of detail. A little bit darker, a little more toned. Another not genuine, so another straight grade. A couple little nicks at the top of the rim above the E, but nothing that would ever... Well, we do see a small bruise, but that's within acceptable range on a coin that's almost 200 years old. They usually let those slide depending on how many or how severe. But if the last one was a 20, this one really can't be any better than that, I would have thought. Once I saw that first one is 20, I figured the same here, but somehow this one made 25. I would have had those two reversed. I would have been more inclined to call this a 20 and the last one a 25. look at them side by side. This one has a little nicer color in my opinion as well, a little bit brighter. But maybe that's a more artificial look. Again, I'm not a copper expert, so maybe they're thinking this one has been messed with a tad. That could be the reason for the lower grade. Certainly wouldn't be out of the realm of reality. And then we have the next year, 1849. Again, pretty similar to the last two. I would have to say another 20 or 25, right? Oh, almost a mirror image or carbon copy of the last. So again, I would say 20 or 25. Of course, I know the result, but that's what I thought in real time. And 20 it is, so all so far so good. This next one, when I got the notification your grades are ready, the coin's being shipped. Before I saw the grades being ready, rather, when it was moving from QA, when it was in the QA stage, I should say. I noticed they changed the coin number and the coin on this one from 1851 to 1851/81. And I wasn't familiar with that. You can see this one was not gradable. I was not familiar with what that particular variety is. And as it turns out, the 1851/81, I'm not sure if we're going to catch it here. I'll do my best. Let me get a pointer. Now we can use this. So when they were striking the coin, they started to put the date up the top for some reason. And there's a 1-8, so as if 1851 was going to go here. The engraver noticed his mistake. Do you see that little serif coming off the one there? Right to the left there. All right, so that is the top of the one. That piece of the one is here, so it goes up and down, and you don't really see the other part of it here, but the 8 is, the lighting is just not going to catch it. The top of the 8 is, you can barely see it, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, right above the 5, and it loops down so that we're looking for this top circle of the 8. Let me see if I can get a 1851/81. All right, let's see. So I'll show you on the computer what we'd be looking for. Okay, this is a good. And you see the serif coming off the one there. When I, to the left of the bottom of the 5. Coming off the right side of the 1. And on this coin, right there. So, I thought this one was like a higher end VF, and it was actually XF details. So it's unfortunate. There's only a few hundred known of these. XF, it's about 250, 300. So I don't know, maybe half that for this, depending upon if somebody's in the market looking for one. But it's a cool variety, and even with the cleaning, a pretty cool coin. All right, so next, I think it's the last of the large cents. It's 1853. Strong detail, not quite XF compared to what the last one looked like, but certainly better than the 20 and the 25s we've seen earlier. So I had this one at that. I actually guessed the grade correctly based on seeing the previous coins. Thought it was just shy of XF. You've got extended hair detail up through here, and it's just not quite full detail with trace luster. So I had it at 35, and it's pretty much where it came out. So I think that's accurate based on how they've graded the others at least. And then we send in this one Lincoln Cent just because I like the toning. It's a nice red-brown. Usually when I try to send these in, it's either full red or full brown for toning, usually. But I like the look of this one. I like that mottled toning, that speckled look, if you will, and it has nice luster. It just rolls. And I just found this coin very attractive. I thought the reverse was very attractive. And I was just curious how they would grade it. I thought it would be a 65 red-brown. I didn't see anything holding it back from a 5. I've sent enough Lincoln Cents in now. I don't see any major hits on the face of Lincoln or on the vest or in the open fields. I didn't think the toning was negative. You know, that could hold it down a half a point. I thought it was neutral to positive, but came back 64. So it's not a, I mean, in terms of value, it's just not, it's nothing. You know, it's a $10 coin really. In a red-brown, it's a common date, so it's not about the value, it's just about the technical grade. We get into some Jefferson Nickels. This one has some really, really nice toning, and it was sent in because of the toning, but not only that, it's pretty clean. Really not a lot of hits, and it's got very attractive color and luster. The reverse, the color's just not showing up here as well as it does in hand, but you can see we have a Denver mint mark, D being in the lower right-hand corner of the Monticello over here. And, you know, we sent in those 1955 nickels a few submissions ago and didn't get any full steps. They all came back 66, but when I saw these steps, I'm thinking, if this is not full steps, I just don't know what is. There is no break. There is no separation. There are no bag marks. I don't see anything holding this one back from full steps. And I thought it had great color with almost no marks and good luster. So I'm thinking it's pretty much a lock 65 full steps. Hopefully a 6 or even by some miracle a little better. And we got this full steps with 66, which is great. Just one of these days, it would be nice to get a 67 on. I mean, I got my first one with the Morgan Dollar a few submissions ago, but I can't get 67 on anything else. The next two are varieties. 41S nickel. Nice natural silver nickel color. Another one that I thought was, is this one? There's another one that's similar to this, not quite full steps. But what this was sent in for is the size of this mint mark over here. I believe that mint mark was meant for a quarter or a $50 maybe. So it's what they call the large S. And they confirmed it as a 64 with the large S. And without full steps with the large S and 64, the PCGS guide I think is 90, which probably means it sells for 60. But a 64 without full steps is like a $20 coin, so it's basically triple. And then we have one more, 41S. I thought the last one had better luster. I thought this one probably had a closer, no, the previous one had close. Neither one of them were full steps. This one has bag marks. Neither one of them had full steps or even really close. There's your large S again. Pretty much identical to the one before. But if the last one was a 64, when I was looking at this, I pretty much thought this would be a 64 also. But PCGS liked this one a touch better. And for some reason, this one's a grade higher. Not a big difference, maybe 20 bucks or something in value. Another Jefferson nickel, subtle pastel tone, nice clean fields and cheek, nice luster. Another one was sent in for the full steps. 47D. Full steps, I thought, had a good shot. And 66 full steps it is. So that was nice. Nice to get confirmation that you're looking at the same things. Here's another 47D that I thought had another shot. These came out of original rolls. Some of those rolls were already a couple coins short. I had some partial rolls. Half rolls, partial rolls. And you can see the steps on this. I think what's going to hurt this one is that mark right there. And I don't know if that's a bag mark or a toning spot now that I'm looking at it. But whatever the case may be, I knew it was close. I'm pretty sure that's a toning spot. I don't think that's a bag mark. But either way, did not receive full step designation. 65, didn't even get the 66, so that was a little bit puzzling because I thought the luster and the strike and the overall look, contact marks were very similar to the previous 47D. And then I think the last of the Jefferson Nickels is this 48S. Nice subtle toning. Oops. Probably just gave the grade away, sorry about that. Clean cheek, nice luster, rolls really nice. S mint mark over here. And the steps again, pretty close I thought. Pretty close, right? Six without the steps, so that was, I don't want to say disappointing or puzzling. It is what it is. It was close. We're very stingy on the full steps, and we're going to round things off with some proof $half. We sent in another couple 61s. That obverse has a nice cameo and really nice mirrors with really pretty rim tone. You know, I loved this coin. Well, love, present tense, I guess. Really nice color. No marks at all. I mean, not that proof coins do, but it's just super clean, right? Not a single mark to be seen that I can see. You know, minuscule water spots or whatever, but that's going to happen. And even on the reverse, you've got a good shot at cameo here, right? I mean, there's definitely contrast. Lettering, eagle, motto, bell, pretty close. So, of all the ones I sent in, I thought this had the best shot of a cameo. And as we found out from other proof submissions, getting that cameo is just super difficult. But I was a little disappointed that this one didn't at least get a 67 plus, if not a 68. I got plenty of 67s on these proofs, and this one just seemed a little bit nicer than the others. So the rest of these aren't quite as nice. Pretty decent, Pretty good sized water spot above the 6 there. A couple other water spots. I knew that was going to affect the grade on a proof. But still a nice coin. I thought this one was a shot 7. Probably just shy of cameo. The reverse actually has a better cameo than the obverse. It's just not quite strong enough. 66. Average run-of-the-mill, $25, $30 coin. Barely pays for the grading fees, let alone the silver content. And then we've got some Kennedy half dollars. I have couple rolls of these, and I tried to pick out some of the nicer ones because there are some graded proof 70, not that I was looking for that, but I wanted to try to crack that 68 barrier anyways. And I really didn't see any contact marks. Really nice mirrors, really nice luster, no carbon or water spots to really be concerned about, and yet we're settling for another 7. So that was a tad bit puzzling. This one probably shouldn't have been sent in upon second examination. I had 40 or 45 of these to go through, and probably didn't pick in the top 5 with this one. Might have got mixed up with other coins during the evaluation process, but this one is just a spec not as nice as the previous one, and PCGS agreed. Nothing really to write home about. Only a couple left. This one, I was happy to see a confirmation on this one, but very cloudy. Not one I would normally send in. Cloudy, not the greatest proof. But this was sent in for a different reason. This was mixed in with one of the proof rolls. And if you look above the ear, but more importantly, the bottom left of the eye of the serif on the bottom left of the eye is missing, which is the big tip-off for the, see if I hold it at that angle, you can see this part of the serif is missing. So when you see that missing serif and you see those darker hair strands above the ear, you know you've got the accented hair variety. So again, not super valuable, maybe $80, but the $20, $25, $30 without it. So certainly warrants sending it in. But one more 64 Kennedy. Again, pretty clean all the way around. Just one little water spot. But nothing really, no other distractions. Obviously, strike is not an issue with proofs, so it's more about the luster, the mirror reflectivity, and the contact marks. And probably not quite as nice as the first one, but pretty close. So if the first one did an 8, this one would never get the 68 also. 67 like the first one. Hard to get above that barrier on these. So there's 21 coins all in all, and only one was genuine, and it was that variety, unfortunately. But overall, a pretty good submission. We have a few more in the wings, including that proof 1942 Walking Liberty half dollar that will be coming back at some point. It's in restoration right now. They didn't like the toning. We'll see how that works out. We got the piece half dollars coming back in the next couple weeks. Thoughts, comments are always welcome. Appreciate it. Appreciate your taking time out of your day to watch. Like, comment, subscribe. samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com, and find us on eBay under the name Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal with an underscore in between each word. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Over and out.